Welcome back. This is Richard with Wisdom Investor. We're going to cover three topics here today. One is related to the pandemic. We're going to call it the V and the C. The other thing is some international news. And the third thing is some divergences in the markets that I wanted to share. In other words, when we talk about divergences, we have good news, but underlying there's some not so good news. So stay tuned for our full video here today. Whether you're an investor or not, you're going to want to hear this. By the way, if you have any comments or suggestions related to these topics, they are most welcome. Our first chart here is related to the pandemic and the C. The C seems to be related to an 89-day cycle, also an 89-week cycle, but we're referring to an 89-day cycle right now. Each one of those peaks is at 89 days. Our next 89-day cycle here is around October the 9th. So based on this chart that was produced by Stan Hardy, who does stock market analysis, this chart is showing our next peak ending around October 9th. Our next chart is related to interest rates. This is a 10-year U.S. Treasury yield chart showing how interest rates have actually been sliding down. Now, there's been a lot of talk about inflation. Typically, when we have inflation, interest rates rise. Now, there can be some reasons why interest rates are dropping. And if you have any suggestions, or I'd like to hear what your comments are on that. Now, there's one reason it could be that the interest rates are still low is that the Fed is buying bonds. As bonds go up, interest rates go down. The other thing is maybe the economy is not as good as people have been talking about. If it was, perhaps interest rates would be higher. So this is the first thing that I'm watching, and it may be a warning sign. The next chart we're going to look at is copper. You can see how the price of copper is dropping. We've all heard how homes have been rising in cost and also apartments. However, copper and other commodities are dropping. Typically, copper is used in homes for wiring, and it's used in other areas. If things were so great, why do we see commodities like copper dropping in price? This is also a warning sign. The next chart we're looking at is the USO Oil Fund. Look at to the right here how the price of oil is dropping. Again, if the economy is going gangbusters here, oil is going to be rising in price. Now, there can be other factors out there too that causes oil to drop, but again, this is a warning sign. Oil is dropping in price. Other commodities are dropping in price also. Things like wood, also corn, soybeans, wheat are dropping. This time of the year, they should be rising. So are these warning signs of something going on in our economy? We'll find out here in the future, but stay tuned for future updates. Also, leave your comments. They're much appreciated.